up and sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the July 24th edition of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am your host in the same room as the old man. Old man, how the hell are you doing?
I'm good, but why the hell are you yelling at me for?
Because I always start yelling. And then I realize I'm yelling and partway through. And I can't just, I can't go from yell to, normal talking.
Just talk, goddammit.
Well, I need to make
Stop yelling at me!
Hi,
everybody. How's it going? I hope you guys are having a great week. It was a great week in the Hughes household, so...
Yeah, I mean, no crazy news when it comes to the Canucks, which is good news, I guess.
Well, I'm still waiting for some kind of blockbuster nerdish thing that you're going to throw at us.
No, I got nothing.
You got no blockbuster nerdy shit.
For the first time, I think, since we started this podcast in the beginning of January, just to remind you.
Middle of January, but that's okay.
Middle of January. I think we started January 13th or 15th or something like that.
I forgot my phone downstairs.
This is the first time I don't have any Canucks news to talk about. Not even like a single iota of anything.
Wow.
I know, right? We had a pretty crazy week in football, though, with the CFL.
We did.
We had so much stuff going on. And the first thing I want to talk about, though, is a football of a different kind.
Footy. As you call it. Footy. Fridge is footy.
Footy. Footy is a lot better because then the Brits know what you're talking. The rest of the world knows what you're talking about. And...
because we have so many British people watching our show.
Hey, I can show you stats. There's more international people than you probably think that watch this show. Cross your arms all you want. However, the Women's World Cup is going on in New Zealand and Australia. The first time the Women's World Cup has ever been split between two different countries.
But are they really different countries?
I hope we don't have any Aussies and Kiwis on listening right now.
I do have an Aussie friend, and Joanna, are they really, really, really different?
God, you want to pick a fight, don't you? You're in it to pick a fight today. But Team Canada, defending gold medalists at the Olympics, are defending their title, the title basically, at the World Cup.
Yes.
First game was last Thursday. Thursday evening? Yeah, Thursday evening, because it's 6 days between games.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
and it was a fun game. I know you were watching the football game.
I was watching the football game. Then I turned it over to the footy, to soccer, and then I was turned it over in time to see Miss Christina Sinclair blow a penalty kick.
And really, if you watched it back, and I watched it back a handful of times, she telegraphed where she was putting that ball.
And she didn't even kick it hard.
No.
Kick the damn ball. You have one job. Well, you kick the ball.
And,
it's like a kicker. God.
The fact that she was...
In real football, folks. In real football.
The fact that she was taking the penalty shot kind of surprised a lot of people, including myself, because she's not known anymore for her power at this point.
I remember at the Olympics, and there was a penalty shot, and there was all kinds of talk because she didn't take the penalty. So this time she did, and now we understand why she doesn't.
Well, the reason she took it was right before the game. Jessie Fleming was supposed to be starting striker, and right before the game, about 2 hours before the game, it was announced that she was not able to make it.
Oh, really?
Due to injury. So it was from
So there's nobody else on the team that could kick that ball.
No one that you want to trust with that type of pressure on them, I guess, is the thought process.
Probably true, eh?
And this is a conversation I want to have with you, and maybe not the week, because we do have a lot of football stuff to get into. But as far as Team Canada, not women's, but Team Canada soccer, is Christine Sinclair the GOAT?
Oh, without a doubt. I would say she has to be. She's probably the most recognizable soccer player in Canada.
I see, and for the most part, I would agree. However, in recent years, Alphonso Davies,
he's definitely made a impact, but he's not even close to a Sinclair. Like you see Sinclair, and immediately, I would say anybody that's remotely any kind of a sports fan knows who she is and that she plays for the Team Canada Soccer.
But you've also got to look at it. I mean, there's been no other Canadian player that's ever been transferred out of MLS into Bayern Munich, one of the top teams, if not a top 5 team in the world at any given time.
So that's your argument to say
for Alphonso Davies.
Davies would be. And you know what? I mean, there's an argument for both. And I just think because her longevity, I mean, God, she's been on that team for...
She is one of 3 players that is playing her 6th World Cup for the women. And that's
every 4 years, right?
Every 4 years, yeah.
So that's 24 years?
Yes.
Holy
she's 40 this year. If she scores this year, and the other 2 don't. The other, I believe, one is a Nigerian player. The other, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a Japan player. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. If she scores and the other 2 don't, she'll be the only one to have scored in 6 World Cups.
Wow. I know after that many years, she's the all-time leading scorer for international women's football. Yeah. Or footy. Or soccer, as I like to call it. It's soccer. I'm not I'm not as efficient in soccer as I am in football or even hockey for that matter.
Yeah.
But it was fun to watch. It was a fun game to watch. Yeah, it was 0-0. But it was fun.
It was fun. Until the very last whistle, there was a chance for Canada to win, and that could, and in all honesty, that could come back to bite them. That they had 2 penalties in extra time. They had a penalty shot, and they missed it, and they couldn't put it away.
Yeah.
They have to win against Ireland here on Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. Pacific time.
5 a.m. your time.
And you'll be in Ontario.
7 a.m. my time.
So it'll be a normal time if you're awake.
No,
you're old.
There's no TV where I'm going. No. There's no satellite. There's no nothing.
Well, you have cell phone service?
Yeah, we have cell service.
You can click a button on your cell phone.
What do you mean click a button on my cell phone?
Well, you have the TSN app.
I'm going to call the freaking soccer club and
say... you could. I'm sure it's Team Canada. They'd be like, yeah, you want to play-by-play? We'll walk you through. I'm sorry you don't have any cable and can't watch this.
I could go into Port Severn, which is quite close, and watch
it on your phone.
I could watch it.
Drink a cup of coffee in the morning.
That means I'd be up at 7 a.m.
You're old. You're going to wake up at 6:30 anyway.
I probably am. So yeah,
you're used to waking up. You wake up at 7. You're like, oh, what a great sleep-in that was. But into the Canadian Football League now, and before we do that, as we always do, or the last few weeks we've done. Tell me who you think is first in the CFL Power Rankings. Actually, no. Tell me who you think is third in this week's CFL Power Rankings.
Better yet, tell us give us your top 3.
Give us your top 3
because the bottom 5, 6 19s, yeah, 6 are and Edmonton.
Yeah, Edmonton. Again, you can start putting high school teams behind Edmonton. I'm going to say this right now. The first game we're going to talk about is going to be the Elks at the Bombers. I got the computer. I'm in control today.
Apparently.
First game we're going to talk about is going to include the Elks. The Edmonton Elks walk into Winnipeg.
Hold on, before we do that, let's say hi to Carlos.
Carlos Legena, how are you doing today? Global sports leads to weird kickoff times for someone. It is wild.
Yes. Come on. If it was hockey, how many times have we been up at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning?
For the Olympics or World Juniors.
We do it all the time.
But those are the only 2 events. The Olympics and World Juniors.
That's true.
We're not going to wake up for the World Hockey Championships.
No.
That are in Europe because NHL's going on.
Yeah, no.
I affectionately call it the Losers Cup.
Oh, don't call it that. People get mad when you do that.
But
it's like the Smurf Mafia. They don't like it.
They love it.
Smurf Mafia doesn't like it.
They do.
They've been buying.
Thank you so much for your first time chatting. And where are you chatting in from, Carlos? But the first game of the week we had here on Thursday was Edmonton going into the Blue Bombers and getting doubled up by a score of 14-28.
What?
Now, and I put underneath here, it was close until the fourth quarter.
Yes.
You messaged me that at halftime, I believe, or just after halftime, you were getting 9.5 points.
Yes.
With the Elks.
Yeah, so I took it.
And the Elks were within a field goal at that point. I then log on to...
No, it was halftime I did it. So they were tied.
Because I logged in just after halftime, and that's when I got 11.5 points. And I turned on the game, and it was a 3-point difference. And I was like, how is this happening? And then I proceeded, while watching the women's team just kind of dominate but not do anything with it, have the Elks do the exact same thing. They looked like they knew what they were doing. They were playing close. They were playing great. And then they just...
And then the second half happened.
No. The fourth quarter happened.
Yes, that's true. Because if you look at the scoring... Can you pull up the scoring in that game?
I can pull
I believe... I believe the Bombers scored... what are you doing there? Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. I believe the Bombers... scored most of their points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I believe it was 14-14 or 14-17 when I tuned in. I could be wrong. Give it a second. The site's slow. It's the CFL website. We know how terrible this site is. Having a terrible team like Edmonton keep pace with Winnipeg and made it interesting. It made it so I was literally watching the CFL game on my phone while watching the World on my TV.
Yeah.
That's how close it was, right? And the CFL site's still loading.
It could be that we're on. Wait, no, go up. Scroll up. There it is. So it was the third quarter they scored the 15 points. Yeah, I thought it was the third quarter, folks.
And I think it was near the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, it was. So the end of the third quarter going into, and then another touchdown in the fourth. But really, they didn't look that impressive.
No.
The Blue Bombers didn't look that impressive. I know I give the Smurf Mafia a hard time. People have to understand the Smurf Mafia isn't the team. The team, I enjoy watching the Bombers because they're freaking amazing. QB Colaros is absolutely amazing. His ability to fire that ball downfield is crazy. Why I call them the Smurf Mafia is because they won 2 Grey Cups in 50 fucking years, and they're calling themselves a dynasty.
Did you see the post?
That's like saying Edmonton is still the city of champions. They're saying the same thing.
They took down the sign finally.
I know. That's why, because they're not a city of champions anymore. And Bombers are not a dynasty.
Also, Bomber fans, if you are listening, please do check out on the website. It's going to be up later this week. I'm working with different things, and I'm crossing my fingers it'll be done. You'll be able to buy everything right from our website.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yes, I've been working on this for the last few days, and I wanted to wrap my head through a wall because I love technology, but I also hate it with a passion.
So they can buy the Smurf Mafia.
You can buy the Smurf Mafia hoodie, the BC Lions I Bleed Black and Orange, the brand new Edmonton Elks. The Edmonton Eskimo. Elks. I'm just a fan hoodie.
Yeah, gotta see this one, folks.
And the Quick Six Crew, I think is what we ended up calling it. I can't remember.
Well, the original one probably would have got us killed by a certain gang of people that ride bikes.
I think they would have taken it as a compliment.
Nope, they would have killed you.
No, it was not. I was not designing a leather jacket.
Infringement.
There's a lot of things we could get sued for infringement on this podcast. I don't think that'd be one I'd be concerned with.
Would it be that one too? We don't mention them.
Carlos, the Bombers are or were close to being one, but they're not quite there yet. I assume that's talking about being a dynasty. They're the closest we've had in many years. Calgary was close, but they were never able to win the big ones.
Well, they did in 2018 when you and I went to Edmonton. 2018, yeah 2018.
But again, Calgary won 1.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 appearances they made with that team?
You've got to win 4 or 5 like the Eskimos did back in the day.
Back when there was no salary cap and no parity.
But that's what you can't call yourself a dynasty for winning two.
I agree.
Two in a row.
To me, three.
Two. If it wasn't for COVID, you wouldn't have done that. Okay.
To me, 3 in a row in a salary cap era is.
But they didn't do that, so they're not a dynasty.
No, I agree.
They got their butts. They didn't get their butts handed to them, but they lost to Toronto. It was 1 point to 2 points, wasn't it?
I don't remember. They got destroyed by the Lions, who then got destroyed by the Argonauts. So
yeah. No, I meant in the Grey Cup.
Oh, in the Grey Cup. No, I mean, Chad Kelly announced his arrival to the league, and that's why the Argonauts were so cool with Bethel Thompson leaving.
So, anyways, back to this one. I watched it. It was a good game. It wasn't. It was what it was expected to be. Boring. It wasn't.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say this game was boring. I would say it was more exciting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, definitely more exciting than I thought it would be.
Looking at the score, the third quarter you're looking at 8-15.
I guess because Edmonton scored a touchdown, it got exciting.
But it's close. For Edmonton to have a close game, that's something.
Well, yeah, it was 6-6 at halftime. It's when Winnipeg can't score a touchdown against the Elks in 30 minutes of football.
Yeah.
They're not as good as they were last year.
No.
Are they still one of the better teams in the league?
Yes.
But they're not the best.
But again, and we've talked about this on before, the team that we'll talk about next here, the Friday night game, they're leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. And then there's a grouping, in my opinion, of 2, potentially 3 teams in that next grouping.
Yes.
That are the Bombers, the Lions, and a team that I think might surprise everyone that I'm putting up there. Who are you putting up there with the Lions and the Bombers?
Probably Ottawa.
That's the team I was thinking.
Yeah, probably Ottawa.
If Crum can figure it out one more week, I think you've got to put Ottawa up there because their defense is good. Their defense can hold teams.
No, I watched, obviously, we're going to get into that game.
We'll get into that game.
Yeah.
Before we get into that game, let's get into Friday night's game.
Friday night.
The Friday night football, what used to be a doubleheader every single time, but is not anymore, was the Toronto Argonauts heading into Hamilton and overdoubling them 31-15. I can say this much. I did not see a lick of this game.
I did.
I don't remember what I was doing on Friday, but apparently it was not watching football. What was I doing Friday? I don't even remember what I was doing Friday, but it was more important than football.
I think I saw this game, didn't I?
I always assume you're going to
be... I did kind of watch it. I didn't watch the whole thing. That's right. I was keeping track of it, I'll say.
Fair.
I was out. We had date night. Ellie and I had a date night. Remember, I got my toes done.
Right, yes. It's a big day for you when you get to a certain age to get your toes done. But moving on. I honestly didn't even see highlights of this game, so I'm going to let you...
Toronto dominated. It really did. They jumped to a 20-3 lead at halftime and didn't look back. It was that simple. The Ticats scored 9 points in the fourth, basically more of a... I think Argos was playing their ninth string defense because they just didn't need to.
No.
There's just Chad Kelly. I have seen a lot of quarterbacks come and go in this league. From Jennings, I don't know if do you remember Jennings? Yeah,
Jennings,
Printers. I've seen a lot. Buck Pierce is another one. Yes, Buck Pierce. Shut up, Buck. Only Vancouver fans will understand that.
No, not only Vancouver fans will get that. Only people who know you will get that.
Really?
Because that's 100% an inside joke between me and you.
Yeah, but
no, that started.
Everybody knows that. No, Buck Pierce went to a hockey game with. Who did he go to a hockey game? Jason Claremont, and you could see they were showing him, and you could see Buck Pierce was just doing this, and you could see the look on Claremont's face was like, "Shut up, Buck."
That literally, we watched the game, and that happened, and he said that he was like, "I'm pretty sure Claremont just said, 'Shut up, Buck,'" and then from forever on, it was just anytime Buck Pierce was on the screen, "Shut up, Buck."
And now he's the offensive coordinator for... Who is he with? Is he with Winnipeg? Why do I want to say Winnipeg?
I know he was with Winnipeg. I don't know if he still is.
I think
I don't know. Because I don't know if Mike O'Shea is also the coordinator.
Okay, fans, let us know who's Buck Pierce with. I'm pretty sure he's the OC for Winnipeg. Anyway, so I watched it, but like I say,
bits and pieces.
Argo's Chad Kelly, just in a class of his own this year.
Is he good enough to get a sniff from an NFL team? Because from what I'm hearing is he was selected pretty high, and there was attitude and personal issues outside of the field.
I've never heard that, but I do know that his dream, of course, is to play in the NFL. But is he good enough? I guess yeah. He's definitely not in the same category, I would say, as Rourke, because Rourke was in a category by himself. He was leading the league, only playing 9 games. So could he? Yeah, he could get a sniff. I don't know if he'll have a cup of coffee down there, but he's definitely a CFL quarterback. That boy can run. That boy can throw. He can read a defense like nobody else. Like, he's good.
He's good. So just to clarify, because I want to make sure I was correct, and I am. Shortly after committing to play for the Rebels, Kelly was arrested after an alleged nightclub brawl and gun threats.
That'll do it.
So
that'll hurt your chances down there.
Yeah, hurt your chances very quickly.
Yeah.
Down in the States. But I mean, from everything that everyone's talked about in the insiders, like the Dunnigans, the Rod Blacks, Farmology, he seems to have turned things around.
That's a question. When did Rod Black come back to TSN to start calling games?
Rod Black?
Yeah.
Did he leave?
Yeah.
I don't think he ever left.
I think he left.
I'm gonna Google search this as we're talking right now.
Because honestly, I saw him and I was like, "What the hell? When did Rod Black come back?"
I don't think he ever left. Where would he have gone?
Okay, fans, help me out here. Rod Black did leave, didn't he? See, 2021, he announced his departure from TSN.
You mean during the COVID shortened or the COVID lack of season?
But he didn't come back. He just came back.
So that's the article saying he left.
Yeah.
And there's no news article
saying he's back.
Over 30 years. Says goodbye. Moving on from TSN.
Yeah, see? He's left, and now he's back.
Yeah.
He's back. He missed a year.
Did he miss a year?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Because he went off. I think he went to Toronto. He did something. I don't know what he did. But I know he did leave. So it was weird to see him. Moving on to Saturday's game.
Yes. Before we get into that.
Oh.
I want to remind everyone, do check out HughesSports.ca. It's where we post our articles, our opinions, sometimes reviews of games.
Son of a bitch.
But tomorrow there will be a post.
Yes, and I can say that.
Tomorrow there will be a post reviewing all the games. We've killed the old man. He's laughing at his own jokes here. On Wednesday, there'll be a post talking about the Canadian women's team because it's something I kind of want to follow during the World Series, or the World Cup. And then a preview of the games because the old man is out of commission for the next week. As he mentioned, he's going to be out where there's no internet, no Wi-Fi, no TV. He'll be
on a dock, drinking docktails.
He'll be... Did you say docktails?
Yeah, that's what they call them. It's like cocktails, but they're on the dock, so they're called docktails.
All right, then. We're just going to move on from that. But do check out HughesSports.ca. Comment on things if you like what
Does that mean I'm
here.
not writing the article this week?
Well, I mean, are you going to be able to finish it before you jump on your plane at 4:30 this morning?
Well, I could write it on the plane.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, then just send it to me when you land.
Because I'm sure I could have Wi-Fi on the plane.
I'm sure if you pay for the Wi-Fi on the plane.
Do I have to pay for it?
Usually.
But I'm a WestJet member.
Maybe they give you internet for free.
I got WestJet MasterCard.
They really.
The number on my WestJet MasterCard is
111
555.
But yeah, check out esports.ca because we do put a lot of time and effort into all of our articles. Well, some of us put time and time into our articles. Some of us just write gibberish and get the other one to edit it. Oh. This is why we can't do things.
Bitch!
This is why we can't do in-person podcasts more often, folks. But, moving on to the Saturday
Folks,
game.
if you're not watching, you're missing 3/4 of the show, okay?
Moving on to the Saturday game. We had the Saskatchewan Roughriders walk in to a rather large paid attendance at BC Place Stadium.
Oh, fuck off with your paid attendance. It's just attendance, will you? God damn it, I get tired of you nerds.
When I turned... So, for context, I was out reffing. I was out officiating a football game for...
Oh, you were reffing, were you?
I was officiating. I say reffing because when I say I was officiating football, everyone's like, what does that mean? And then I have to just be like, it's reffing. It's easier to explain, even though I'm an official, not the head referee. There's one head referee, there's a shit ton of officials. Especially at a CFL game.
Okay, carry on.
I get into my vehicle and turn on the AC because it's 30 bloody degrees out and it's too hot to even exist. And I turn on TSN while I'm waiting for my car to cool off, and I'm looking at the game and I'm like, this is weird. I thought it was supposed to be like sold out. And there was huge gaps of people missing. And I don't know if it was too hot and people stayed home or what it was down.
I think
down
a lot of when we go to the paid attendance compared to the attendance of actual people there, very few sports will actually announce
actual attendance
because they don't care. No. You bought your ticket.
As
long as you paid their money, they don't give a flying flanagles if you show up.
Yes.
So a lot of tickets, I think, throughout the CFL are corporate tickets.
That's fair.
And the corporate tickets, corporates, a lot of time, when you're given something free, there's no value to it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are given free tickets and they don't go.
Well, and especially in a corporate sense where it's...
TJ streams.
DJ, who I completely forgot to upload, is the winner of our technical winner of our fantasy challenge.
DJ, we know, you and I know
that you randomized your ass to win it.
You came in second because who won, Jake? Who came in first?
DJ won. He has a hoodie. It says it. DJ has a hoodie. It says it. If you want me, I can pull up the pictures. I can upload them to the stream for you if you'd like.
Carry on. Glad you got the hoodie, DJ. And no, I'm not going to jail for a week.
Well, he was the number one viewer. Precisely.
It's okay to be second. There's nothing wrong with being second, DJ.
But what happens is a lot of these, like you're saying, corporate tickets, you'll work at a Shaw or something, and it'll be like, oh, here's tickets, and they don't really care about, like, the giveaway. The people will be like, oh, I don't really care about the tickets, and they'll try to sell them.
Yes.
What happens is, what should be happening is places like Sekeres and Price who do ticket giveaways, and if you're there, they'll go say hi to you.
Yes.
There's you're getting the tickets for free, but you're someone who wants the tickets, and there's an implied benefit of, I was able to take my picture with Matt and Blake Price.
Yes.
Or Matt Sekeres and Blake Price. But besides the attendance, the game was fun. The game was just fun. It was chaos. It was confusion. I entered my house at the worst time possible because apparently Vernon Adams Jr. got injured.
Yes, he went down early.
Very early, because I didn't miss much. Like, I missed maybe 2 minutes of the actual game. And then I
was going to say it was within the first 5 minutes, wasn't it?
I think so.
If my memory serves me correctly.
I think, like, the first 10 minutes of... maybe first 10 minutes. Like, it was in the first quarter.
Definitely the first quarter.
However, it is good sounding. I heard an interview today with Rick Campbell that they're taking over precautions.
Yeah, there's no ligament damage. The stability's good.
No structural damage.
He's not on the 6-game injured reserve.
But they're going to take their time.
It's day to day.
Big thing is, who are they playing next week?
They play Edmonton in Edmonton.
So are you going to push a guy?
No.
Sit him. Who could potentially have any sort of injury exacerbate whatever the word is I'm trying to say I can't say masturbated. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore.
And this is why I don't like him in the room when I do a show.
Or do you let Dane Evans, who looked fine?
Yeah.
Had a couple, again, there was a few issues, just like Mason Fine had, because it was Mason Fine's first start as well.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be those issues. And there was a handful of offsides from the slot backs, but that's happened because every quarterback's going to have a slightly different cadence.
Yes.
It takes you 3 or 4 series to get used to that.
And, I mean, your offense, you have an offensive game plan going into a game.
Yeah.
It's not like you just throw plays in random.
No.
You literally have a set playbook that you're using. And so you have that game plan based on the fact that it's going to be Vernon Adams Jr. running those plays. When Vernon got hurt now that whole playbook's got to be tossed out.
To a degree, because
they're different quarterbacks.
They are different quarterbacks, but they're very similar in a lot of different ways.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
I think Vernon Adams is way more athletic running wise.
Yes.
However, I think in the pocket, Dane Evans, in my opinion, is a better quarterback.
Oh, he's definitely got a better arm.
He's able to stand there. He's patient. He's able to get free when needed. And a couple times I saw him get flushed from the pocket and just get back to the line of scrimmage rather than trying to do anything fancy. Just get back to the line of scrimmage, take the hit, and go down.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, again...
It was a defensive game. It was literally, and I say it every time the Riders in BC play, is take the under. Take the under. And it's not going to be a high-scoring game.
Also, I don't know if you remember, 11.5 points is what, or 8.5 points is what they were giving the Riders.
Yes, because I won money.
Did you? I didn't make a bet this week.
I bet $5 to win $1.17.
Ooh, big bets. Why even make the bets?
Because I made it, then realized what I had done.
That's fair.
I don't know.
But even at 8.5 points going into the fourth quarter, you're looking like, hey, this is a pretty close game.
The lines didn't blow them away. Saskatchewan's got a good team. A lot of people are like, oh, Saskatchewan, hey, you just barely beat Saskatchewan. A lot of teams just barely beat Saskatchewan this year.
It's their offense is okay. I hate how many times they're like, Mason Fine played fine. It's like, yeah, we get it. You guys think you're freaking hilarious, announcers.
That is funny.
Oh my god.
That's like the crumb back. Come on.
Can we stop? Can we just stop with the quarterback nicknames?
No.
Can we just stop?
It's the best part, Jake. Come on.
I'm glad they didn't have this when...
You ever see that picture?
Yes, I was there for that picture.
Look at that picture. Isn't he a handsome guy?
Back when Travis Lulay was around, could you imagine if they were like, you need to take the Lulay parlay? What a stupid goddamn freaking...
Well, that's just dumb.
Thank you. But a crumback is better?
Well, it's better than the Lulay parlay.
I was literally I was sitting here trying to
come up... Because it doesn't make sense. A crumback? Come on.
Better than the dick incision.
1 sec, folks. Give me a sec. So, Jake...
I get it.
Crumback?
It's because it's a comeback. Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Sorry, folks.
But...
I blame his mother.
But that it's not even a good pun. But either way... be creative. If you're going to be creative, be creative. But Mason Fine, I think, is a okay quarterback. Has potential to be a good quarterback.
Who?
Mason Fine.
Oh, yeah. No, he's going to be decent.
But
he's not going to be a Vernon Adams. He's not going to be a Chad Kelly.
I could see him being a Vernon Adams, a guy who takes a few years to figure it out.
Sure. But,
Vernon Adams, his ceiling is starter in the CFL. I don't think he'll ever get an NFL. You know what I mean? I could see Mason Fine next year getting traded, or I don't know what his contract situation is, but Edmonton takes a look at him, or Hamilton takes a look at him after this Bo Levi.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be eyes on the quarterback carousel this next year
and I think the next year, it's so hard to make a trade in the CFL.
Yeah,
it's near impossible.
And if you're making it, the only trade I can think of that was a good trade, a one-sided trade, was this past offseason, was Dane Evans for a conditional second-round pick.
Was that one of those...
we don't have a use for him, so throw him away?
A CFL handshake? I think that was one of those Wally Buono.
Well, and like you say, but it happened in the NHL too. It's a
Braley,
the Braley trade. We don't talk about those, but no, but it's the future consideration trades.
Yes.
In the NHL, and we're seeing them more and more, especially in this.
And even if they don't say future considerations, it's a handshake between the CFL because it's a 9-team league.
Yeah.
How do you trade someone? Like, how does Calgary and BC make a trade? They can't.
Well, I mean, you could, but it would have to be. It would literally have to be a. Like, I'm just trying to think of two players, like a receiver for a top end receiver for a top end DB swap.
Tit for a tat.
Yeah,
it'd have to be.
You're never taking a trade in the NHL or in the NFL where you're taking a draft pick to get rid of a good player.
Yeah, no,
because there's not enough. First off, the draft is terrible in the CFL because your first round is offensive linemen basically, and your second round is. What if they don't make it in the NFL quarterbacks?
Yes. Really, yeah.
Right?
It's not.
So you're not able to make trades. This offseason, I think, could be very interesting for the quarterback carousel again.
And it's the same thing with coaching change. Everybody's like, oh, Dickinson out in Ryderville has to go. Jones in Edmonton has to go. Go where and who are you going to bring in?
There's all sorts of options. I mean,
you're not going to talk to another team. I'm not going to let you talk to anybody.
Not right now. No.
That's what I mean. Mid-season.
Mid-season. If you're in the CFL, if you're going to fire anyone, you're firing and you're hiring or promoting. You're promoting with an intern,
or you're bringing up somebody from college, university, or college down in the States,
or high school down in the States,
or high school down in the States.
I think that's very often where they go high school, CFL, then they'll go to college or the NFL from there.
Yeah.
But. Quite often. They'll make more money being a receivers coach in college than they will in the CFL, which is just absurd. But the BC Lions, they didn't look bad. They didn't look good. They
won.
They won.
People are shitting on them, as usual. Smurf Mafia.
But they also were playing with their backup quarterback.
They did well. They won the game. They didn't dominate.
Their defense showed up, as they always do. And if I'm a quarterback...
This Betts kid. You know who he's reminding me of?
If you...
Yeah.
Cameron? No. God, no.
Yes!
God, no.
Yes!
Do you want to look up stats right now?
Well...
Completely different position.
Fucking nerd.
Completely different position, first off.
But you get what I mean. Like, he's that dominant.
Look at Brent Johnson. Look at Brent Johnson when he played on the D line for the Lions.
He wasn't. I don't think he was as dominant as Betts kid.
I think you're not remembering correctly.
I'm going to try to get Betts on the show. What do you say?
I think if you could do that, it would be a lot of fun.
I think we get Betts on the show. Then you tell him that he's not that good.
I don't think he is a 5-time Pro Bowler.
He will knock your ass on the floor, bitch.
Fucking like Gary Peters would knock my ass on the floor, and he's 2 foot nothing.
I'll get Paradise to knock you on the floor.
Well, no,
and then he'll do a shot of banana liqueur.
Speaking of
Mr. Paradise,
a big game for him, not for his team, but for him personally, as the Stampeders lose in overtime for the first time ever. A team in the CFL wins back-to-back overtime games.
Is it really?
It's the Ottawa Redblacks.
Wow. I did not know that.
It's very specific. First team in back-to-back weeks to win in overtime. Because there has been, I believe, an occasion where a team won in overtime, had the bye, and won in overtime.
Oh, so this is back-to-back
very specifically
weeks.
Back-to-back weeks.
So, of course, I was at the game.
This was a game that I watched from beginning to end.
I kind of wish I would have watched it on TV, to be honest, because it was mother freaking hot.
Yeah, it would be hard to focus because had to have been 25, 30 degrees.
Yeah,
when the game started.
Oh yeah, it was warm. It was definitely warm. Shout out to Jeff McCleary who watches our show. We are sitting there minding our own business, Ellie and I, and up comes this guy and he sits down and gives Ellison a big hug. It was Jeff McCleary.
Oh really?
Jeff, you know Jeff McCleary. He lives in Vernon. Moved up to Vernon because of Jeff. Vernon. Kelowna. Wow, I don't know where I got Vernon from. Anyways, it was an amazing, amazing, amazing game. I don't know what he's doing
Don't
over
worry,
here.
don't worry.
He's distracting me, folks.
He's
distracting me. It was a fun game to watch. I am still unsure of Jake Maier being a starter for the Stamps. And can we talk about play calling?
Always. You know me, I will talk about anything play calling wise.
So I texted Jake right at the end of the game, and what did I say to you?
That you believe that Dickinson lost Calgary that game.
It was Dave's fault that we lost that game.
What is this wee shit?
And the reason being, you're up by 5 points. You're in the fourth quarter. You're up by 5 points. You got the ball at the 38-yard line. And you didn't kick a field goal. You're 3rd and 3 at the 38-yard line. You have the best field goal kicker in the league.
No.
Over the years, he has been the most consistent kicker. There's a story here. I'm going to tell you the story in a minute. But you decide to go for it. You decide to fake a field goal and try, and you missed.
Yep.
You only got a yard and a half, 2 yards. You kick that field goal, you win the game. There's no overtime. There's no nothing. You win the game. If he makes it. And I'm sure he would have. It was a 42-yard field goal. It drives me nuts when I see stuff like this. And it's funny because I sit right behind this guy who's been going to Stamps games since the Stamps have been around. He's an elderly gentleman.
I'm pretty sure he said, because I've gone to games with you before, that he was going and he got tickets in the 60s.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
I think he's
in the same seats forever. Like him and his wife, they're such a cute couple. They high five, they hug every point. It's so much fun to sit near him. Anyways, he looked back at me and he goes, "Oh, you're going to be mad at that one, aren't you?" And I was like, I just don't get the play calling. I don't understand. But I guess that's why he's paid the big bucks. Maybe he knew something I didn't know.
Well, clearly not. So,
but again, you carry on doing what you're doing.
Yep.
You have the most consistent kicker in the league over the years. He actually scored his 2,000th point. And this young lady behind me says, "Look at that. He's got the most points ever in the CFL." And I started laughing, and I turned around and I says, "Well, if he got another 1,889, he would have the most points in the league ever." And she looked at me, and her mom obviously looked at me and said, "That would be Louis, wouldn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's Louis." She goes, "How do you know that number?" I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of a fan." It's borderlines. Okay, there was a restraining order that one time.
Borderline stalking.
So, but no, I mean, it was a dumb play in my books. Went to overtime, and they both scored touchdowns. And the Stamps, of course, you got to go for 2. The Stamps didn't make it, and the Red Blacks did, and they won it by 2.
Yeah, it was wild to me. Sorry, I was doing something, and then you got me distracted on this. I'm trying to find the actual stats here. So this is based off of NFL, so it is slightly different, of course.
What do you?
So there. So if you're looking at the actual statistics,
he's gone full nerd on me again.
You're
folks.
looking at
I apologize.
44% chance of scoring if you're starting the drive at your own 45. You have an 18% chance of a field goal and a 26% chance of a touchdown. So would you not take that 20? As you get closer to the end zone, that chance is higher. Now, what was it? It was 3rd and 4?
3.
3rd and 3
from the 38. You're up by 5.
I think
kick that field goal. You're up by 8. They have to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I get it. Scored a touchdown and 2-point conversion either way.
No.
Yes, they did.
You don't understand.
No, I do understand. So what you're saying is you would take the points, right? You would take the 3 points.
You always take the 3 points.
They then start 3 yards difference at the 35. If he makes that first down, you almost guaranteed to have a touchdown at that point.
Almost guaranteed. That sounds like a little bit pregnant. You know that, right?
From the 35-yard line.
You're not going to guarantee you're going to get a touchdown.
Go back to every single overtime minute game we've had this year in the CFL. I believe there's been one time that a team didn't score a touchdown.
That was Calgary.
Correct. I don't care who it was. But you've only had one team that got the ball in the 35 and didn't score a touchdown. So your odds are pretty good that you're going to score a touchdown if you have the ball at the 35 with a set of fresh downs. I think he made the right decision.
Okay.
Old school football logic dictates you are correct. I will give you that.
But if you're going to go for third down, you got 3 yards, right?
Yep.
So if you're going to do that, why wouldn't you line up and just go for it instead of trying to fake a field goal? Because now you're 8 yards back. Because you snap the ball back to the holder.
But that's
5 yards back.
That's not what they did.
What did they do?
Did you not? Were you not at the game?
I was at the game.
So they went to line up, and instantly Ottawa should have known.
There was a lot of people there, and they stood up in front of me, folks.
Ottawa should have known that it was a fake right away because Stevens was in the game to hold the ball, which is normally.
Stevens always holds the ball for the kick, doesn't he?
He does not. Cody does.
Oh, that's right.
Cody normally holds the ball, so Stevens came in, and the announcers were like, "That's weird. That maybe something happened with Cody." And Stevens instead went up right to the ball, hiked it, and ran.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was right under center.
I missed that, folks.
It was right under center. So there was no.
What you doing over there?
I'm getting things ready for the next segment.
Oh, he's getting things ready for the next segment, folks.
So again, they had 3 yards. They technically only need to make 2 because you should be able to get that 1 yard because your offense knows when the ball's going, the defense doesn't. And you have that 1 yard.
They need 3 yards, not 1.
No, they needed 2 yards. They need 3 yards total. You should have that 1 off of the go because you have a 1 yard buffer between your.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So now you only need 2 more.
You only need 2 more. You should be able to do that if you fall forward. Fall forwards.
Oh, needless to say, they didn't, and they failed.
They did
because they suck. And it was the wrong play call in my books.
Again, I think old-fashioned, old-style football says yes.
If he calls me old one more time tonight, I'm going to give him a black eye. I'm telling you, nobody's going to hold me responsible. I'm just going to wind up.
I think they will.
I'm just going to wind up.
I think that's... I don't think...
Is that allowed?
No, I don't think so. I think that's
child abuse.
Laws. I don't think it's child abuse. I think it's just assault at this point in time. I'm 30.
What's that?
It's the next segment.
Oh, we're doing that next?
Yeah, we will be.
Wow, cool. I thought we'd review the next week's games.
No, we always do this first. And then
okay.
Next week's games. However, one thing I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to during the Ticats because we got very distracted multiple times throughout tonight is that Bo Levi was at practice today for the Ticats, which...
good to see. I mean, I'm not obviously anybody who's ever listened to this podcast knows I'm not a Bo Levi fan whatsoever.
But
matter of fact, I think he sucks. But it's good for the league to have Bo back.
Yes. Hopefully he is able to. I don't know if he'll be able to play this week for the Ticats, but it's good that he'll be back probably the week after. He'll be able to actually start.
Why couldn't he start this week?
I think to get you back up into game shape.
Oh,
I
thought there was some kind of nerdy rule that you came up with.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's been 6 games, to be completely honest.
But you can pull someone off the 6-game injured reserve.
I don't know about that. I don't know the rules about that. Like, I know the rules about the NHL's injured reserve. CFL, there's so many confusing little nuances. Like, if you're an American...
If I had my phone, I would actually text Roddy on that one, because I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I mentioned Rod today.
You did? Hey, look at that. We did get 49 minutes in the show before you mentioned it.
I did.
But everyone who is watching right now, before we jump into it... what are
you doing?
Seeing if anyone in chat had given us their power rankings,
no.
And it doesn't look like they did. Lots of great conversation today, but no one gave me their power rankings. So
let's do our power rankings.
Who's power
rankings? Power rankings. We're gonna do the power rankings.
I think we need to record that into a song for you. So, give me a second here because this is not my setup and it's very confusing for my brain.
Why? Oh, I see what you're going to do. Okay.
This is what I always do every single week.
Oh, is that how it comes up?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah, look at that. You're learning new things every day.
I can do stuff on you now.
What?
Never mind. So, number 9.
Number 9,
drum roll.
what should be to no surprise, the lonely Edmonton Elks.
I think from here on, I think it's going to be interesting who he picks. I tried to look, but I don't have my glasses on because the light reflects off.
I don't have my glasses on either, if it makes you feel any better.
Well, it's because the light reflects off.
Yeah, no, and my glasses are blue light filters, so it looks like everything's blue and hazy, and it bugs me if someone does that.
Just don't,
yeah, Edmonton Elks. For anyone who...
Oh, and by the way, that way when I go out in public...
People can't recognize you?
Well, because it's like Superman.
It's like Superman, yeah, makes sense. Did you hear? Sorry, did you? You know how people always make fun of that?
Squirrel.
You know how people always make fun of that? Yeah. It's like, how would you be able to? Did you know that Charlie Chaplin once entered a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest and finished in second? Marilyn Monroe did the same thing. She didn't even podium.
Yeah. I knew Marilyn Monroe did. It's funny.
But continuing on with the power rankings and not the random thoughts that come into our ADHD-riddled brains. In number 8, we have the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Because until they do something, you can't really move either two. These two teams are locked in space until someone does something.
Yeah,
I
agree.
The first,
which is unfortunate because with the Grey Cup being in Hamilton, I was hoping they're going to be contenders.
Well, and they loaded up to try to make themselves contenders. You can't blame the my brain is not working. The GM, the ownership group there.
No, they put
did
out
nothing.
The bucks.
They said we're gonna try to put on a show and.
But they should have,
Instead, it didn't work out.
Yeah. Number 7.
Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Oh.
Having them drop one position. The old man is confused by this. And
I am.
Isn't really a fan, I can tell.
Well, I guess they lost. I mean, we beat them 19-9. They lost by 10. Okay, well, we'll give you this one. And then number 6.
The Calgary Stampeders. They also moved down one.
Because they lost.
Even though they lost, they are still ahead of the Riders in the power rankings. Yeah. I think it's fair.
Yep. No, I'm going to agree with you so far.
You've got your bottom 4 teams, the bottom 2 in each, East and West.
Yeah.
Your bottom... Sorry, your bottom... I can't even do... You got your bottom 3 teams...
In the West.
And the bottom of the East in the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
People are probably going to think, why Ottawa above Calgary, but...
The Montreal Alouettes are in 5th. They did not play. I can't see a reason to move them or
move them up or
down. However, the big movers of this week, which should be no shock to anyone, the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Wow, by 3 with that
points.
Performance. Wow, I don't know about this one. I would put them, I mean, I could see them in 5th, but into 4th.
I could not, in good conscience, I could not move the Alouettes. If the Red Blacks and the Alouettes face right now, who are you putting your money on? I'm putting my money on the Red Blacks. They've got the momentum. The Alouettes are kind of sputtering.
Okay.
Again, up for debate, but I apparently like controversy.
Yeah, apparently.
And then
now the top 3 are obvious for anybody who's watching
the Winnipeg
football.
Blue Bombers. In 2, we have the BC Lions, and of course, the team that is better than all the rest in the CFL this year. We have. Why is this not working? Get rid of the black bar. The Toronto Argonauts.
Top 3, of course. Yes, I agree. Obviously, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would have put Ottawa as high up as you did.
I think this is just the beginning with Crum. He's looking good. Their Ottawa Red Blacks. Their defense is bending, but not really breaking.
Did you spell Ottawa right? That looks weird.
How would you spell Ottawa?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking...
I'm 99% sure that's correct.
Okay. It looks funny to me. Montreal. I don't know why.
Calgary, Saskatchewan...
Probably because you got them in the wrong spot.
Edmonton. I have them in the right spots.
I think you're wrong.
Well, I mean, that's for everyone and yourself to debate on... What are you doing?
Just
No, don't do that. No, you can't do that.
I can't do that. Okay, it doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. So, let's stop doing that. And let's look at next week's matchups, because we haven't even looked at we haven't gone through these, and normally I know who you've picked before this even starts.
No, you don't.
Normally you have your article into me, and at the very bottom of your article it shows who you picked. So I normally know who you've picked. Let's take a look because I don't know the schedule this week off the top of my head. Friday, we have 2 games on Saturday this week. So our first game is on Friday, and we have Hamilton taking on Ottawa.
This is going to be a good game.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think Bo Levi's going to be back. And because of that, I think Ottawa is going to just walk in there and walk out with a double-digit point victory.
Really?
Yeah. That's how highly I think
this one, I think, being Kevin the medium.
Even though the medium powers will never tell you.
No, but that's okay. Don't tell anybody that.
I mean, you tell everyone that.
So that's Ottawa. That's Hamilton.
Hamilton's the backside of the ball.
And literally,
he's literally flipping a coin. Backside, you're picking Ottawa.
I'm picking Ottawa just because the coin flip told me I was picking Ottawa because that's how I think it's going to be a close game.
I don't think so.
If you can get more than 3.5 points, friends, take it. Take the spread. On either way, because it's going to be that close.
Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up the odds here.
Pulling up odds. That's what he's doing.
That way we have them when we...
Did you know you can go to VIPbets.com and get odds from VIP Bets?
I'm sure you can.
They now have their Canadian license. And if you're listening, go to VIP Bets. It's the place to go for all your sports betting. Do you remember VIP?
I definitely do.
So we're just going to sit here because Jake's doing something again.
So right now, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have been given 2.5 points.
They're given 2.5
to the Tiger Cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ottawa's the favorite.
Yeah.
Which checks out.
What did I say? I said.
Then we have Saturday, the early game on Saturday. I don't know what time it is because it doesn't. Oh, it's 2 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 1 p.m. Back home in Pacific Lands. Saskatchewan taking on Toronto.
I am going to take Toronto. But having said that, this is the upset. This is my upset of the week. I'm literally, okay, folks, listen carefully, Smurf Mafia. Somebody pissed me off earlier. Listen, Linda, listen. I am picking Toronto. But if you want the upset of the week, I always give it to you. Because that's what I do. I'm a giver. Take Saskatchewan for the upset. I have a feeling this could be Toronto's week to lose.
If you're a betting man, which I know both of us are,
no.
11.5 points have been given to Saskatchewan. And it's hard not to take that type of bet.
You got to take that bet, folks. 11.5 points?
Yeah.
In the CFL? I mean, it's quite often that it is 11.5 points.
But, I mean, last week it was a 10. Like, Saskatchewan lost by 10.
Yeah.
Right? So... I mean, against a clearly inferior BC to the comparison of BC to Toronto is huge, vastly different.
Without Vernon Adams in there, it even makes it bigger.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, no, I'm still going to take Toronto in my pick'em. I'm going to take Toronto.
If I'm betting, I'm going to bet that game, I might take the 11.5 points.
I might put $5 on Saskatchewan there.
Then
we'll pay attention, folks. Then $5 on Saskatchewan.
Then the later game, which I really like this. There's a 4 p.m.
Which reminds me. I won't be able to watch these games.
Correct.
Son of a bitch.
The late game, and I say late very awkwardly because it's a 4 p.m. start for BC.
Yep.
5 p.m. start in Edmonton for the second game of a doubleheader. That's great. They used the late game in a doubleheader usually doesn't start till 7 o'clock.
Oh, I see what I was like. What are you getting at?
It's going to be done by 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so you could still go out and do stuff on a Saturday night.
Yeah,
it's a great idea.
It's in Edmonton, so it's unfortunate that a game like this isn't in BC for the people on the island, the interior, people travel in, and that is why there's a lot of games this year that are earlier.
4 o'clock game.
Because Amar Doman went to bat and said, no, we want these games.
Most of BC's games are 4 o'clock Sunday games.
That's great.
Right?
Saturday games.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. The preference is Saturday because then people can get home, have that day to recover.
What if they played all 4 games on the Saturday? I mean, you wouldn't... TSN has 4 channels. They could put,
No, you could do it. If you start early enough. If you start, again, using BC time zones, you start at 10 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is noon. Or sorry, 1 in Eastern time.
Yeah. But
so you go 10 to 1, then you go 1:30 to 4:30, 5 to 8, 8:30 to 11:30.
It makes it for a late game.
But if you did that for the season opener, or not the season,
could you not do it where you play 2 games at the same time?
No.
Why?
You're cannibalizing your audience. There's a lot of people like you and me who watch every single game.
Okay.
I think
throwing ideas out there. That's what I do. I'm an ideas guy. I'm a giver, and I'm an ideas guy.
It works well in the NFL because there's enough people to watch, and the team bases are big enough that if no one else watches, they're still...
You knew where I was going with it. There you go.
BC and Edmonton.
We're definitely taking BC.
The Elks only are getting 7.5 points here.
It'll be a 14-point minimum.
If Vernon Adams starts, I could see that going up to match what Toronto and Saskatchewan is at with 11.5. Then our last game of the week.
Probably the game of the week, to be honest.
I think Ottawa. I think Ottawa is going to walk away with it, but I think Ottawa-Hamilton has the potential to be game of the week.
Yeah.
But the Alouettes-Calgary should be very fun as well. I think I'm going to take Montreal on this one. I just don't think Jake Myers figured it out yet.
On grounds
that you might get
that I'm hanging out with 2 really diehard Calgary fans that week. Sunday we're home.
Sunday you're home.
I'm gonna take Calgary.
Smart man.
There's a reason behind this.
Calgary is given 1.5 points on this.
That it?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So super close game.
Yeah. I think just looking at it this week, take out the BC Edmonton game. My only worry about the BC Edmonton game is if Vernon Adams doesn't play, and God forbid if they beat us, we will never live it down. We will never live that down. It'll be like 2011 all over again.
I'd be okay with it.
I wouldn't be. But looking at them, take out the Edmonton game. The 3 games, they're going to be competitive games. I know everybody's like, Toronto over and Saskatchewan.
Again, I think Saskatchewan's better than a lot of people realize.
It's my upset.
And I don't think a lot of it has to do with their offense. It's their defense. Their defense is quietly good. If you look at a lot of Saskatchewan games, they're won by 8 to 10 points, and that's it.
Yeah.
So should be a lot of fun. I've got nothing else this week.
Again, look at that. We're only 3 minutes over our hour this time.
Look at us go.
We're getting better, folks.
Well, you put us in the same room, we get less tangent-y. Well, there was not really a rant this week.
There wasn't. I didn't go. Well, I did. I went on a rant there for a little bit. Mafia. Listen, Linda.
Yeah, but I was doing things while that was happening, so I wasn't feeding into your rant.
That's true.
You weren't feeding into any rant of mine.
Well, you didn't really have anything to rant about.
No, this week I had nothing to rant about.
I could have ranted about the fact that we didn't put up my BC Lions flag.
Who's this we?
Fell down.
Who is this we?
It fell.
Do you have asthma? What is this
That's
we
my
thing?
saying.
Yeah. What is this we thing you're talking about? I showed up here like 2 hours ago.
You could have had it up by then.
Sorry, I was busy eating the food you bought me.
Yes.
But everyone, that is the Hughes Sports Podcast for the week of July 24th. You can find us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook at HSP_pod. You can find me, myself, and I on Twitter, or X as they're now calling it, at JStreamsHere, spelled JEH, Streams Here. I'm also on Threads, Instagram, everywhere possible.
We should get that up on a thingy down there.
Yeah, you would think.
Where is it? Down there, so people could see it.
You would think I would have something like that.
You would think, because we could put it right across there somewhere, like in there, or maybe there.
Yeah,
right there.
like right there.
Right there. We might be able to do that next week.
Yeah, well,
work on that for next week.
You know what? You enjoy your time off, and don't fucking tell me what to do.
Wow. On that note, folks, you can reach me at cavellichanneling.com. No, not .com. No, don't go to .com because I don't have my website up. But you can find me on Cavelli Channeling on Facebook, Instagram. I don't think I'm on Snapchat. Am I on Snapchat?
No, you're not on Snapchat. However, on Instagram, he is not.
I'm Kevin the Medium.
Thank you. Kevin_the_medium on Instagram. On Twitter, he is Kev Hughes 64.
And if you message me, if you're listening to this podcast and you message me and say, I listened to you on Hughes Sports Podcast, I will give you $25 off your next reading.
Ooh, look at that. Throwing a little promo right at the end there. Did you see? I had no clue where you were going. My eyes were bugging out. And again,
you're like, what are you doing?
Again, if you're only listening to the podcast, you're missing out on, I would say, about 33.33 repeating % of the comedy that we
75%.
Well,
it's all. Face.
No.
It's his face here.
It's a face.
And folks, don't forget to go to VIPbets.com. Check it out. Tell them Kevin sent you.
But yeah, type in when they're like, who sent you? Kevin sent you. They'll know who he is.
They will.
I'm not kidding.
Randy knows who I am, right, Randy?
That's exactly what I said. But for the week, what week are we going? Week 8. Have yourself a fantastic week 8.
Cow.
We're almost halfway through the season. So
we should do like an analysis halfway after week 9. Because there's 18 weeks.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I will. You don't have to do shit. And on that note, folks, have a great freaking week. I am, because I'm going to have DocTales.